Hello, peeps. Give me a minute. Dinner's gonna be here soon, so I'm gonna grab that, wait for that, and grab it, and then come back. It'll be here in a couple minutes, I believe. We don't have DoorDash or anything down here. Rural areas, we don't have that kind of shit. We have to go and get it ourselves. I think Kim went to go get it, so yeah. Plus, not to mention, I have to wait for the internet to not fuck me. Oh, I said that before a minute. Oh no, YouTube will gonna be so mad at me. Oh no. Oh well. Because sometimes it cuts off my shit and puts a lot of things out of context when it splices the wrong part between the wrong part on its own. Because the internet just had a hiccup. But yeah, it's like what I learned playing Overwatch, and the game's pretty old, so you can pick it up pretty quickly if you figure out that the role system here is important as hell. It's like 99% of how the game flows is through the roles and the way they set it up now with 5v5s. It changed the flow a bit from a raging ocean of fun to a trickling stream of bullshit. That'll be fun. I wish they would put in the same amount of healers as they do the other two. But support's always harder to make than tanks and DPS, because DPS, no brain cell needed to play. Tanks, some brain cells needed to play. And support, you better have a high-ass IQ. Because it's ridiculous. It's like, oh, I have to do all this. Yay. It's like, why is the support role to do more than half the work? Because you're support. You're supposed to support half the work. But our tank's doing like 25% and the goddamn DPS is diddling over there. And doing like 5%. It's like not 100%. And that's why you lose. Ah. Okay. Okay, now that that little thing popped up, I can actually continue on now. That means my internet's stabled a bit. How to be good at Overwatch. How to be like a pro. Sort of say. Without actually needing to try. Well, you have to try, but not try that hard. It's pretty simple. It's team-based. This is not Call of Duty. This is not any ordinary FPS game. This is a strategy FPS game. Where you rely on certain roles are relied so heavily, they die, you're fucked. Or you have a hard carry that knows what they're doing with that character because that's all they ever played, because they have no life and it's sad and pathetic. Like someone who played nothing but Torbio for 9,000 hours. And no other character. Woof. Each role has a selective task they must be doing at all times during a match. And some roles are pretty simple. And you can turn off your brain and not really do much. Where some roles are like, you better be paying attention 24/7, you're going to burn out your brain and you're going to feel a headache afterwards. And you only have fun if your other two roles fulfill their part. That would be support. Support has the short end of the stick and it's covered in shit. And they gotta hold it there while it stinks and squishes between their fingers. It's like, ew. Tanks has a pretty big section of the stick, where tanks have to. Well, they control the battle. Tanks are the control of battle, and the battlefield and placement. So how the flow of the battle's going is based on your tanks. The DPS are supposed to be doing a lot more than they do. Some don't. Where's Mooney? He's stressed out about work, Nicholas. Mooney's not happy with work lately. No, he's been kind of pissed. His job's a pain in the ass right now, so he's moody. Mooney is moody. But I think that's every role can actually fulfill certain requirements that one role is expected to do, and it's like all roles can do that if they wanted to. I mean, DPS ain't using that much brain power. They can do shot calling as well and remember alt charges of enemies. But everyone expects support to be this heavy-handed, must be doing all this stuff. Here's the bag, now carry it. And the bag is over 2,000 pounds. It's like, what the hell are you guys carrying? DPS is carrying a box of crackers, and tank is carrying a single grocery bag with the milk and the freezer's food. And it's like, okay, at least the tank's helping out a little. DPS is just carrying a box of crackers that they're eating. And you're carrying all the rest of the groceries. It's like, okay, dicks. A tank, when they go in, they need support from their supports and their DPS to help. Because it's stressful, because Doomfist is way too weak right now to be considered a tank. I tried. It requires so much stress for the other two roles just to carry a Doomfist. Even if he's one-tricking, it's like, this is a pain in the ass to be a Doomfist. That's why I'm like, if he does a block, and he gets hit, it should give over health for a little bit. Or shield or something should build up as he's blocking. Because if he's still taking damage, 90% reduction, he still should be getting some over health back or some shield, so when he gets that charge, that fist charge, he can jump in with that extra shield or health and start fighting and controlling the battle, but he can't do that. He blocks with his arm and gets mowed down. That doesn't do any good. Even Winston can pull out a bubble and block the damage for a little bit, but Doomfist can't block shit. And he's a tank. A tank that can't block is not a good tank. Even if it's with just their body, Doomfist still takes too much damage. Sadly. Diva's got her Matrix. She's got her Yell. Junker Queen's got a Yell. Roadhog's got self for healing. He's got a giant ass barrier. Orissa's got a spear she swings. So Sigma's got like so many damn tricks up his sleeve that trying to kill him, he could keep himself alive without needing to worry with the supports worry about him at all. And it's like, I got the supports. He gives himself some extra shield, puts up a barrier, starts killing people, pulls down the shield, and then starts eating more of the enemy's attacks to give himself more shield. Pull out the barrier again, rinse, repeat until you win. Or control the flow and kill the enemy on the other side to push yourself forward as the other team now has to be pushed back. Tanks control the flow. It's like if a Winston jumps above to take out the Widow and the Hanzo, leaving the two DPS and healers down below to deal with the tank on the other side and the other DPS, that's when one DPS needs to go up to the tank to help them or stay down with the two healers and support the two healers in taking out the tank and the other DPS. No, wait, that's not right. The other two DPS I said were Widow and Hanzo, so yeah, the tank is taking on the never mind that. So the Winston would jump up, take on the Widowmaker and the Hanzo. The DPS is being handled by one tank. A single healer, that's right, a single healer would go up there and help Winston with the two DPS, and the two DPS down below will go after the tank with the two healers on the bottom, because the two DPS that are dumbasses on top won't have heals. They'll be easily dispatched, where the Winston and the other healer will have the field, and the two DPS down below with their one healer will take care of one of the other healers on the bottom, or the tank, leaving the two healers to be dispatched shortly after the tank's been dealt with. Or the two healers get taken out and the tank goes down with them. Again, the tank controls the flow of the fight. If everyone is in terrible positions, then, well, say goodbye to that. You got rolled. Zarya has her bubbles. He has his shield. Winston has his shield. Doomfist has no defense. He's a tank with no defense. The hell? I get it, you can get some overhealth if you hit him with your punch and your slam, but I get that ripped out of me so fast, even if I block, it's still gone in seconds, and I'm like, I'm gonna die. I should be getting overhealth or shield blocking with Doomfist. Doomfist's block should be giving me something other than just charge to do a little more damage. Or to give him back my punch quickly. Because even if I try to use the punch to get away, I'm still going to get mowed down. will be near a tank or their support or somewhere in the middle, or if they're a flanking one, they'll get around a little bit, start causing a little hectic and mayhem to cause them to look away from the primary fight of the other tank and the other DPS and healers, and then run away so the other tank can then control the flow and push forward, causing them to get pushed back a little more. Again, you're relying on that DPS to be smart enough to go in, cause a little ruckus, and leave. That's what Tracer does, and Soldier, and Sojourn, and Reaper. They go, and Junkrat, and Sombra. They go in, cause a distraction and a little mayhem, and then leave. And as they're getting distracted, because the backline's being targeted, and they're being harassed, the others have to either peel for them or focus on the tank, but then your backline could be destroyed, or if they had to be pushed back, so it gives that team the advantage to push forward, controlling the flow. Again, the tank controls the flow. And you got your long range fighting, you got your close range fighting, you got your mid range fighting, you got your aerial support, which is 2 of them. Got these 2 supports for air. Junkrat, I guess, can do air support. Then you got your suppression of air with Widow and Soldier, Sojin. A lot of things could stop these 2, but they are the air support. Genji's also a backline pokey and get the hell out of dodge. But no one plays DPS like that. They play it like it's Call of Duty. I get that you're not that bright, but DPS has more of a job to do than you think. DPS is supposed to put in damage. That is their main goal. DPS is damage. That is the thing. If you pull up your screen to see the stats on the scoreboard and DPS ain't pulling off another damage, they're failing. No matter how many kills they get, it don't matter. They're failing because they're not putting out enough damage. They should be top spot. 2 DPSs should be top spot of damage. Not your healers, not your tank. Your tank should be taking a lot of damage, but yet still staying alive. Or at least attempting to. Which is fine, right? Tank's job is to absorb damage. Which Doomfist can't do. Also, DPS job is support the tank, support the supports. That's right, DPS is supposed to support the supports. They might not like hearing that, but it's true. If another DPS from the enemy team or tank starts harassing your goddamn support, one DPS needs a peel to go help the supports before you lose them, because the supports will run towards their DPS. Don't get me wrong. They'll either try to run away from the problem or run towards the DPS that's running toward them. Yeah, I know. Play. But I'm trying to make this clear. There should always be one designated DPS that will go. A DPS should always go peel for their. One second, I gotta go get dinner. Like I said. Also, teamwork. DPS has like multiple jobs they should be doing if they want to be good at this game. There should be a DPS. Yeah, sees that support's about to be attacked, they go help the support. The other DPS helps the tank hold off the rest of them best they can. And if that other DPS... Oh, Pipster, who I live with? My mom and Kim, who is my sister's dad.
Welcome to Junkertown.
And then the support will come and help you afterwards.
Prepare to attack.
It'd be risky though. Teamwork's definitely key in this game. Because you can't win without it at all anymore.
I'll find my own path. Take care of each other out there.
The game's so heavy-handed towards teamwork now that it's impossible to play otherwise.
No nonsense. We do this clean. Copy?
With the Overwatch 1, you could probably get away with the DPS going off and doing whatever.
If we do this right, they won't even know what happened.
Can't do that anymore in Overwatch 1. Because you don't have that extra tank to be that safety net for the...
Is this
for you.
one a scrap or a hoist? I wasn't listening.
5, 4, 3,
Oh,
2, 1. Attack commence. Escort the payload.
Who's up?
Kakaya, be healed.
Not on my watch.
I'm here. I'm with you. Feels like sunlight, huh?
Get on the payload, or I'll nail you to it.
kind of. Yeah, you want to regroup up as much as you can.
Hey,
Yeah, your healers are trying. Sadly, Farah's almost got ult, so be careful with that.
help me move the payload.
Stay justice rains from above. It really was the honor of a lifetime.
I'm here. Under my protection.
I could use some assistance.
Dojin, take out the Farah.
I've got you.
Coming at you.
Help me move the payload.
Payload has reached.
Oh god, I love lag.
I'm grateful. Restoring balance.
Right on the money.
Also, hard picking is a thing. Hard countering. That's why I don't get why they're locking away characters like they're doing. Kind of destroys the very function of the game itself.
My gift to you.
Escorting the payload.
Because if you expect that certain characters can beat certain characters and then you lock away those characters, how the hell can they beat them?
Let the keep
Goddamn lag.
The spring flows, the payload stuck. Get it moving.
Moira by your side.
Hey,
Nice work, team. It's go time.
just say so.
Rain from above.
You still got a hundred. You still got a the buzz. The Debuzz? What do you mean by debuzz?
Time to try again. Come here. I can heal you. Come to me for heals.
What? I'm trying to say group up.
Come here. I can heal you.
Oh, that's what she says for
We
her
need to
group
move
up?
the payload.
That's my whole life.
Draw strength from
I've always
nature.
had that, but always cut my hair short. It's just easier. By like a lot.
Enemy over there. Clear out.
Just don't go up the stairs. Okay.
I don't give up that easily.
Payload is not going to move unless we group up with our tank.
The breeze brings relief.
Yeah, this ain't going to work out.
Done playing around.
Taking a step back to group up is not a step backwards, it's a
Let
step
me balance
forward.
you out. Time to try again.
What do you mean? My camera's fine.
Kakaya?
Payload is Oscar Mike.
Thanks for the touch-up. What's that?
Justice rains from above. It's go time. Disrupting.
30 seconds remaining.
Coming through.
And it's hard to concentrate on what I want to say and play this game at the same time sometimes.
Let's get
Especially
back
when you're
to
trying to eat as well. I just noticed Kim drank part of my soda.
10 seconds remaining.
You don't want to risk dying either, you're just feeding it. See, people running around like that, you're never going to win a game. Unless the enemy team just sucks way worse than you do. Because it's really hard for me to explain this at the same time trying to play this game. Because I explain the tanks, I'm trying to explain the DPS, and DPS are more in depth than people actually think, but no one actually plays them that way. DPS needs appeal for the one in danger. If your backline's in danger and healers need, like, please help, we're being dive bombed here by two other DPS, a DPS needs to go over there and help them. Because they can fight for themselves a bit. But they'll need a hand. If they might get lucky and kill them. If both healers stop focusing on the team and focus on each other, trying to kill the backline jumper. That's a problem because now you're not getting any heals. And if one healer dies and the other healer can't finish the job and that DPS kills the other healer, you're done. You're dead. That's why there needs to be a DPS that will say, if the backline's in danger, I'm closer, I need to go help them. The other DPS needs to stay with the tank and keep the fight. Either back it up with you to go back to your support, or keep where you're at and fight that little spot the best you can while slowly trying to give a little space. The point of a DPS is to do damage, as I said. And then, if they're doing a lot of damage, that's great. Because everyone's job is to pick off the weak enemies. Like, if you see an enemy low on health, kill it. But if they got away, so be it. They'll probably heal up and join the fight back again. So you have to focus on whatever the hell's weaker next. Because everyone should be getting kills, but getting kills is not important in the game in the long run, since everyone's going to be getting those. It's just whoever is efficiently close enough to get the final blow on the enemy. But DPS should be doing the majority of the damage, where tanks are taking the majority of the damage to themselves to defend, and healers are trying to remove most of the damage and heal. DPS, you like running around a lot, right? And playing all that way, it was fast-paced and stuff. Then use that running to go back to the back line and help the support if they get jumped. Or run forward if the tank overextends, but the healers will be fine. But the tank needs to get my ass back to my team, because I'm about to take more damage than I should at this moment, and my team's rushing towards me to help. Twerk? Why would I twerk? I'm not a teenage girl. Now the support, on the other hand, have so much to goddamn do. They expect the supports to remember every enemy, what they're doing at all times, because they're in the back line. Yeah, I'm 36. I'm not a teenager. The support's in the back line. They can see the fight ahead of them. They are seeing it all unfold as they're healing. Somehow the support needs to keep a track of every enemy's ult. When technically, how I see it is, supports can't keep track of the enemy ults. That's fine. But I think that DPS should be keeping track of the other DPS's ults, as well as support keeping track of the support ults and the DPS and the tank if they need to, but the tank should keep track of the other tank's ult charge. That way everyone's sharing that load of who has what ult charge, and is it, gonna come up soon, like, get ready, this one has this if the tank would be like, your tank says, the other tank has their ults charged, be careful around it. That'd be great. Supports don't have to deal with that, because the tank is in the tank's face most of the time. Support has to do the healing, as well as do damage, and if they see someone weak, try to pick them off from a distance. Because support has long-range fighting capabilities comparatively, because they're in the back line. So they have the longest range of all the characters somehow. Even Moira has a freakingly long suction range that no one really uses. Why she's in the front line when she's a mid-range, long-range fighter is beyond me. The only one that's close range and mid-range is Brigitte. That's it. Brigitte is the only close-range, mid-range fighter that's a healer that specializes in that. The rest are, long-range. Hello, Wesley King. And support needs to have high healing output. If a support doesn't make at least 5,000 minimum healing, at least, then either your team didn't take much damage, or you lost the game because the support wasn't healing for shit. Zenyatta's no exception either. His healing is low, but his ult is huge. As a support, you should be doing callouts a lot. Supports are literally the call shots. Or shot caller that says, enemy over here, this enemy's over here, we're getting dived by this enemy, can one of the DPS come and help us? If you're PFPU, player for player, well, I haven't got to that point yet. But you need to stay, your team needs to stay in contact, and everyone needs to play their role and work as a team and you will run over the enemy team, no problem, if they do not have the same coherence. Even randoms that don't know each other can play that well if they just stick to their role and the basic coherent things that each role does together with each other. Like supports the team. It's not there to just heal. They're there to also pick off enemies, point out weak enemies, point out when they're dives, point out a lot of shit. They're pretty much the shot callers, that's for damn sure. But if a tank can, shot call another tank when they get their ult charge, that'd be great. Same with DPS. But DPS, you're going to be running back and forth from the tank, back to the support, back to the tank, staying mid-range and fighting, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Some DPS will be flanking, doing a little distraction thing, then coming back to the team for some quick healing, and then going back to cause more chaos, or staying with the team to cause more damage. But everyone's going to be doing something. That's what people don't understand about this game, and that's why they struggle to play it, or they don't win that often, because it's not a hard game to understand. It's simple. It's fucking middle school levels of education needed to play. It's just teamwork. And literally knowing your role, I'm supposed to do this, this, and this. DPS damages. Tank, takes damage and controls the flow of battle. Support heals and calls out enemies, but everyone is supposed to get kills. Everyone is supposed to say, that enemy's weak, I can hit him from here. If I hit him, I kill him. Go for it. Unless you're like being focused and you need hopefully your team comes and helps you. Sometimes pulling back and while pulling back can get you a win. Is that a pic you? What? Is that a picture of you? I don't see where that picture would be. It's literally my cat's tree, and my cat right now is trying to eat a cricket on the floor and catch it. But it's like, to be a pro at this game, you don't have to do that much. You just have to work as a team. Now, granted, Zenyatta is the slowest goddamn character in the game that I've ever seen. So someone may have to hold the old man Zenyatta's hand to get him back to the point if he's being harassed by a DPS in the back, constantly harassing him with a Sombra or something. If a Genji can come back there and take care of the Sombra to get her to go away, and Zenyatta can focus on his job of healing orb, discord orb, and firing down the line. But he's slow. That motherfucker's slow as shit. Slowest character in the game, but yet he has the longest range and no damage drop off. And he also makes enemies weaker. So he's doing a good job. Zenyatta's a weird one. But he may need someone to help the old man walk back to the payload. Your tank needs to understand, I need to pull back and let my team regroup so we can push forward again. If your two healers die, get the fuck out of there. Because you are going to get mowed. Your support has such a big impact now on the game. You are going to get bent over a table and Epstein's going to go at you like a teenage girl on his island. It ain't going to be pretty. Now I said that my piece there on how to be good at all roles, and these are just basic information. This is like basic shit. Basic 101. But if your support says help, please go heal for them DPS. They only need one in DPS maybe to come help them. Or maybe you get lucky and they help each other, but then you got no heals. So many games I've seen just fall apart because the tank just thinks they can just run in and do whatever they want, and DPS is running all over willy-nilly like kids who eat crayons and eat the glue, and DPS is just, and support's getting mowed down constantly, so the other teammates aren't getting healed, and then they blame the support for something that they're not helping with.
Where I'm from, the foxes fight back.
And also, the support needs to run towards the DPS that are running towards them. You gotta meet them halfway sometimes. Like, help me! But not everyone has the getaway ability like Zenyatta.
This looks like a team that gets into trouble.
Hipster, you're asking if I'm fat? Does 115 pounds count as fat?
5, 4,
And I'm eating a cheeseburger right now, so...
1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
The tank controls the flow of battle, so I have to be near the tank, or at least in the area. Sombra in the back line. Thank you. 115 pounds counts as fat? Wow, if 115 pounds is fat, holy hell, there's a lot of homeless, obese people I've noticed.
Defend the objective.
Gonna grab top left. We got a Moira jump in the back line. Back left.
Brings relief.
Because healer's healing range isn't ridiculously large.
I'm with you.
Fuck. I don't know why I ran off, but I was trying to stop him.
That was interesting.
And it's okay to lose a point. It gives you more time. Yes, but you can hold them off later. Like right now, we have only a tank and a goddamn Ashe DPS.
Now go get him. Feels like sunlight, huh?
My ultimate is almost ready.
I'm with you.
Stay near the other side of the field.
You're all good.
Gotta play around the tank. The tank is controlling where we fight, how we fight, and when we fight.
Let the Kitsune guide you.
I'm just trying to support the best I can to support.
Let them up.
We're pretty good together. Carried on the wind.
60 seconds remaining.
If a healer like me could pull off shenanigans like staying back here where they won't find me and I can just heal these guys, it's great for me.
Watch here.
Just avoid the ult until it runs out. Sometimes just avoiding the ult is the best way to get around
Let
it.
me balance you out. Watch out for this one. Big cover.
30 seconds remaining.
Fire is will.
Precision and control.
See, because these guys are falling apart. Shit, I'm 2 seconds away. Ah, fuck. Okay, tank, you gotta probably have to get out of there. And communication does help too.
Time to try again.
We might lose the point, but we'll have to hold them off for the little bit. But we need to regroup back up.
Group up with
Just
me.
jumping in is you're gonna feed, and you shouldn't do that, especially without your tank. Tank and support are more important than DPS will ever be anymore now that they have it set up this way.
Kokoya?
Like, a lot of support does have getaway movement. I got a low tank over by me. Low Winston.
Attacking.
Enemy here.
And the DPS needs to come help, or the tank, yeah. Someone just gotta peel.
Just
Get into the field.
Get out of there. Tried. You only have one support, so I'm trying to stay alive. And you can't heal through barriers, so don't stay in an enemy barrier. God damn it. Yeah, I couldn't heal my tank enough. God damn it.
Better. Stay near the other side.
I'm with you.
It's just how you play like one of the pros without, you know, being a pro. Moira has ult though. I'm being hit by Moira back here. There's a weak Mei.
Immortality field deployed.
Nice to know you have my back.
Focus the Mei when she comes out. Ah, fuck, she got away. Oh well, you can let them get away. You don't have to fight them. We do have the objective.
The breeze brings relief.
Enemy contact.
Junkrat has tire,
Over there.
so I would keep that what's it call it? Immortality field for the junk tire. Anyone else lagging? I lagged myself. I got lagged to death. Something I can't control.
I don't give up that
10
easily.
seconds remaining.
We're almost there. Keep it together.
See, our DPS should be fighting while running away to get back to the tank and the support.
Crusaders!
Let the Kitsune guide you.
Immortality field.
Just type
Reinhardt and Bob are fighting with Ash. If you kill the last of them, it's over. Or with McCree.
Stick with it.
Time to get clever.
Victory.
And it's that simple, really. Not much communication is needed, but just playing your role helps a great deal.
Play of the game.
Also figuring out the characters and whatnot. But that's up to individual players. These are just the basics, and you should never forget the basics. You should practice the basics anytime you play the game. Hell, one person could be communicating the whole time, and that's all it takes. But realizing that you're at Chick Creeks without a paddle and then getting the hell out of there is a really important thing. It could be the difference between a loss or a win.
Traveling to Dorado. Prepare your defenses.
Like, I had a DPS that was like, I got 12 kills, you're no good, and he only did like 1,000 damage. It's like, no, you're the one not good, because your role is to literally do damage, and you couldn't do that.
Bro, who spells Jeremy
What's that?
like that?
Me and my
Your
mother
parents
when
lie
I was
they bathe
born.
you?
No, they just thought I was
It's
special
coming.
since I was
So
born
let's
with
give it to them.
seven heart defects. So
Oh,
they gave me a
you're like
special
special
name.
ed.
Yeah, sort of. Except for I'm more intelligent than any
together.
people nowadays, so that's pretty sad.
What's up? Yeah, I heard ya. I heard ya.
This is my real name, so.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Let's group up.
Stop the payload.
I'm waiting for our tank.
I'm waiting for anybody on our team to be there to play with me.
Well, since the tank controls the flow of battle, without the tank, we're fucked.
But we can't just not play if the tank's not here.
I know we gotta fight the best we can while backing the fuck up, but we're at a huge disadvantage without our tank.
Ah, damn it.
I mean, I can't heal the damage output.
Bro.
What's our tank
Where
doing?
the fuck is our entire team? Bro.
Our tank's over here, dinking around.
Alright. Time to report some fools.
Just the tank. The tank's throwing. We're losing against a Doomfist, the worst tank in the game?
The payload has reached.
Wow.
Alright, over.
Done playing around.
I need healing.
We can heal you if you're if you were doing your tank job and not
Draw
letting your
strength from nature.
damn healers and DPS die.
Let's group up.
Alright.
Carried on the wind.
Ash, why are you taking so much damage? Goddamn. Doomfist is trying to get your back line
Like a gentle
and get behind the tank right now. There's an Ash trying to take pot shots long range. Oh, wait up.
Let me balance you out. Let me keep
Activating self-destruct sequence. Initializing systems.
That's all I could pull off since the tank ditched me
That was
and
interesting.
flew away and I couldn't get away.
You're good, bro. You're good.
Daijoubu.
Ah, I'm so scared.
Oh, little kids trying to be scary. When a parent can go, I can scar you for life, kid. Our tank is taking on an ulting Genji.
He's dead.
Yeah, I don't know why that Genji decided to do it to the tank of all things. Widow, top right.
Meteor strike.
I'm going in.
Enemies over there.
I have to fight this Widow. Got her.
Thought you were a professional. Soothing your wounds. Get in there, Bob.
I'm lagging. I have to wait till whatever the hell's causing me to lag. Is there just too much going on the screen or something?
Kaiki.
Yeah, overextending DPS again.
Let me balance you out.
We got a Genji on point. Thanks for shooting the deflecting Genji there, Junkrat. Made sure to kill me extra fast.
Okay, I learned
You're
from
welcome.
that.
God damn it.
Knew you'd appreciate it. That's why I did it.
Why would you shoot a deflecting Genji? Even I know to do that.
Because I'm paying full attention right now.
Oh, shit. I might lose this. I might disconnect here in a second. Okay, it came back.
Group up with me.
Kokoyo, I've got you.
And when Brigitte ults, man, she becomes a tank herself.
The Kitsune is ready.
Yeah, this enemy team's scattered all over the place. Their Doomfist is running off from the rest of the way of their team. And the tank controls the flow of the fight, but he has no team to help him with that. What the fuck's going on? I'm lagging so hard. What the fuck? Ash, you should be backing up right now. Getting back to us so we can group back up with the rest of our team.
The Kitsune is ready to be unleashed. Watch out for this one. Let the Kitsune guide you.
That one's my best.
It's like people shooting at a fucking deflecting Genji is the same as people shooting at Zarya's bubbles. It's like, what are you doing?
60
I'm here.
seconds remaining.
Healers are coming. Oh, thank you, lag. That was great.
Let me balance you out.
Meteor strike.
Yeah, the game's trying to give you a hint when the AI says we're outnumbered. It means that you're at a disadvantage and you're probably going to get rolled if you don't equalize the fight quick.
30 seconds remaining.
God damn, my lag is killing me. I threw the bell and it still killed me. I literally threw the bell. I glowed white and I still
10
died
seconds remaining.
Almost there.
because
Keep
of the
up the
lag.
pace.
Victory.
Well, that worked out at least. Yeah, the healers, we did our part, DPS did theirs, and Tank did theirs that time.
Bob, do something.
Doesn't help that my fucking internet connection goes from 12 to 4,000 in a blink. Could have done so much better. There we go. Now I got the Kitsune bitch. Kiriko. I unlocked Kiriko finally. Which is weird, because I thought if you owned Overwatch 1, you would get Kiriko automatically. It says I'm supposed to, but I didn't. I don't know.
Welcome to Esperanza.
Don't know if that was a bug or not. Well, that timing.
Amid discord,
My endorsement
you
went
will
up right
find
as
tranquility.
Zenyatta clapped his hands
Everything's
together.
going according to plan.
That was timing you cannot plan. Oh, thank you, Internet. Give me more fucking lag. Why don't you just kill my Internet completely, Verizon? You shit provider. Ugh, I'm getting fucking nauseous here.
1.
Oh, my game's still counting down.
30.
Oh, there it goes. Well, I guess I'll end it here. I got Kiriko unlocked. Who cares now? The game is mud. But hey, hopefully my conversation with you, telling you this stuff helps you out a little. And maybe some randoms will see this as well, and everyone can just start, pulling their weight would be great. Some people do carry, and that's awesome, when a tank is able to carry the whole team on their back. And sometimes it's the healers that carry, sometimes it's a DPS, surprisingly. But yeah, everyone's got a particular role, and you need to be good at that role. Positioning matters, but only to certain aspects of the game where the positioning matters only, like, I don't have hiccups. Positioning only matters when it's reliant on that positioning. Oh, fucking A. Because sometimes you think, oh, I have good positioning. I was told this was good positioning, and you get murked. Doesn't mean it's good positioning. Good positioning is situational. That's like picking the right characters are situational. Support has such a low pick, and they basically do a lot of the same thing. And depending if you're playing, the only thing that support needs a counter pick if there's barriers on the field or not. That's it. And if there's a type of DPS that's gonna just hunt down your type of character. Kiriko, right now, as she stands, cannot be countered by any dive characters because she can run away and teleport away if you're not on cooldown or the bell. And if a DPS would come help you, and you and that DPS, as a support, you and that DPS can take out that diving DPS, weakening the enemy team, and then you catch back up with your team and get back into the fight. That enemy team's down 1 DPS, you take out a healer or the tank, and you roll over the rest. You'll be surprised how important one teammate is in this game now because it's a 5v5. 6v6, you can split the team into 1 tank, 1 healer, 1 DPS, and do a pincer maneuver. But now you can't do that no more. A healer and a DPS could go flank, leaving the other healer with the tank and the DPS to fight, and that DPS needs to understand that the tank is going to probably take priority over healing over you, so try not to get hit too much, but it should work. Or that DPS knows, I'm going to go flank, do some damage, make some chaos, maybe get a pick, then come back to my team for some healing, and then go back out with my team and get the rest of them. This is not, new stuff. This was applied in Overwatch 1 as well, but you didn't have to worry about it so much because there was another tank as a safety net. I get the 5v5 thing. I just would say you have a choice between 5v5 and 6v6. Like a single game mode called 6v6, and it's just literally the game with just 6v6, and that's all it is. You won't be splitting the player base if it's a game option in an arcade. Because people are already doing that anyways. Some people are all arcade all the time. Some are like me and Chris, who are all quick play all the time. Where the competitive, I would dabble once in a while on my own. But this is just basic stuff you should be practicing every time you play. If you're able to fulfill your role really well, the others can fulfill their roles, and your team will look like an unstoppable juggernaut. Granted, you will die sometimes. Your team will get murked. Then you regroup back up and try again. As playing as Sigma, I am constantly backing up during the flow of battle and pushing forward when my team gets back. You can watch me play. My tank footage is I don't always constantly push. I'm backing up too. And using my barrier, my rock, and my grasp depending on how many enemies I see. If they're all 5 in front of me shooting, I will put my grasp up instead of my barrier, grab as much as I can of shielding, put my barrier, then huck my rock after that, causing a lot of them to fall down, then try to get a pick behind my barrier while pushing up. But if I knock a good chunk of them down, like 3 of them, I'll pull back my barrier and start attacking, because those 2 seconds will be up by the time they get back up. Throw out my barrier that just regenerated during the rock throw, and then start trying to get a pick, pull down my barrier, grasp again until you're back and forth. That's all it is. And if they lose someone, they're at a weaker disadvantage, and if they push in with that weaker disadvantage, they will lose the fight. Unless someone's just a GM against a bunch of bronze and no one's paying attention. Because everyone needs self-awareness of what's happening around you, especially DPS. You should be aware of everything going on around you, because you are in the thick of it. You are either in the front or in the middle or flanking. Or diving, and then coming back to get healed. Don't scream, I need healing, when you're out in the ass end of nowhere, past the tank, 3 freaking buildings down. You ain't getting no healing. You need to come back to the team. Again, team-based heavily. When I mean heavily team-based, I mean fucking 99.9% of that game fights are going to be team. You should be with your team. If you can dive, get a little pick, not get a pick off, but do a lot of damage to cause them to get away, and you get the hell out and got healed, you can try again later. But you can't do that if you're dead and your team has to wait for your ass to come back. So please, just fulfill your role without overextending or fucking yourself from 7 ways to Sunday. Sideways. Because your team relies on you. Everyone's relying on you to fulfill your role. The team expects the supports to fulfill their role. Heal and cause damage from a long, long range. And tell us when you see someone trying to tell us when you're getting dived. Tell us when you see someone on the right trying to flank, or if you see someone weak and it's like, if you kill them, they're close, you just got to hit them once, kind of thing. Though if anyone sees a weak enemy that's like 1 hit away, try to get that hit. Try to kill them. Because they are, you want to get that pick. As again, looking at the scoreboard and you see the kills, like, oh, I got this many kills, doesn't matter if you don't fulfill your role. Healers will have high healing numbers, DPS will have high damage, and tank will have high taking damage. Granted, tanks could also do high damage too. But technically, the DPS should not be beaten by the tank in total damage dealt that game. If a tank does 12,000 damage and the 2 DPS did a grand total of 3,000, the DPS are lacking in that fight. The DPS should have more damage than the tank does combined. Even if that's giving you a thing here, telling you that you're failing as DPS. If you're damaged between both if DPS cannot get enough damage added together than the tank put out, you did not perform your role as DPS. I know that's stressful for you now, and you might have to use more than one brain cell bouncing in your tiny little thick skull. But you will have to think, is it good for me to go in and dive, or is it good for me to stay back here in the middle and cause more damage while my tank pushes up with his barrier, and then when the enemy team dives in on my on my tank, I can dive in on them and cause more damage that way. It's all situational for DPS. You have to be constantly altering yourself based off your tank and your supports doing whatever the hell they're doing. You're expected to do more now in Overwatch 2. 2.0. It's just an update. But you're expected to do more. It ain't gonna just sit there and let the game play for you anymore. Though you can just pick the turret characters, which is the AI playing for you. But you may still lose if the enemy team knows to stay together and take out your turret system and stuff as you're trying to put it out. The turret characters are not that strong if your team is working together to just suppress that turret while pushing back on the enemy team. And try not to be caught out either. That goes for supports or tanks or DPS. If you're caught out and die, your team now has to pull back while fighting until you get your ass back here again. Or somehow Mercy, or they go over to your corpse so Mercy can res you without getting another teammate killed in the process. That is a pain in the fucking ass. And your situational awareness better be pretty decent if you're playing FPS games. You better have situational awareness or you just suck. It's like, okay, I know where the enemies are. One is not, I don't see them. They might have if they have a Sombra, I just have to wait to hear hacking, turn around and start shooting the bitch. Because they always hack from behind. Always. So it's like, just start 360, just turning around while firing, and you'll hit them. And if if you get hacked and you say, help, I've been hacked, your team, support will start healing you immediately, for sure, as you always will have to. But that's just the basics of how to play this game, and you will look like a pro for doing the fucking basics. Why do you think people are like, when I see people are like, you're really good at games, why is that? I'm practicing the basics. I only play by the basics. That's why I go to casual, to play basic. I'm not here to get sweaty. I'm not here to try strategy and tactics that the Grandmasters practice. I'm here to play casually and just do the basic stuff. That's it. The basics. The basics are so important, that's why they're called the basics. Because everything's built off the basics. The whole building, the basics are the... If you build a building, the basics would be the cement foundation. It better be sturdy and well made, and you better be keeping an eye on that at all times, or the building will go gone. Like trade towers gone, just okay. You just have to fulfill your role. And I can't play Overwatch 2 because apparently their servers are going tits up right now. So bye. But I hope the stream helps some people understand the basics and what you're supposed to be doing. And also, never just spam I need healing. That pisses off healers and you will not get healing. Now, if you were going to the healers and went to them and asked for healing, they'll probably give it to you. But if you jump in the back line and run as far away as possible and say, I need healing, it's like, motherfucker, how am I supposed to go over there? You're in the enemy spawn now. And I'm over here with the team. I ain't gonna fucking go. You're on your own. Find a health pack and go manage on your own on the way back. I'll heal you when you get your ass back here. Some healers might be able to get to you somewhat, but then you're leaving the team at a disadvantage in the next fight because the enemy team's going to have 5 people coming at 4. Meaning that you are fucking them because you overextended. So you have to get your ass healed on your own with a health pack and get your ass back here and start doing something. Us healers, we do have a problem with getting in front of our tank and ahead of our tank. Well, you probably shouldn't. A support should never be in the front line unless it's Brigitte. And Brigitte needs to tank with her the whole fight. Or be in the middle of the fight. Or in the middle line. Where Brigitte could see the other healer being attacked and go peel for them. But there should always be one DPS that when you play as DPS and you hear that your backline's being attacked, your 2 supports, you say, okay, you guys do, you'll be like, I'm going to go take care of that. You do what you need to do here, and hold them off until I save our support so they can come and heal you. because most supports can probably save your life while you're struggling. Because if the supports are alive and the DPS peels and kills the diver or the overextended enemy, and then they throw their heals at you, you'll start healing immediately, and the enemy team will be 4 against 5, and you will have the advantage for your tank to pull forward and control that flow. Like, this is now my fight, and I am moving forward. Your DPS will follow you, shooting at mid-range and close range, or whatever their skill set's based at. Or long range if it's Widow. Or Ashe. You know, depending on what the characters can do, each one has certain positioning, like Zenyatta's long range, mid range. So is Kiryu, mid range to long range somewhat from Moira. Being on the front line is not a Moira thing. She can easily be smacked around like a hoe. Brigitte is the only one I know that can be in the front line with the tank for a short period of time before she has to back off with her barrier and let the healing take effect as she's healing others around her with rally or using her health packs on the tank in front so she can start healing herself. Her health starts regenerating. She uses her health packs to keep the tank alive and looks behind to make sure the DPS aren't struggling and the other healer's still behind. It's like there's some complicated characters. Zenyatta fucking needs a hand held as like an old lady trying to cross the street. Because he's so fucking slow. But yeah, just play your role and know your character and you will do fine. Hell, you can play any character by these basic rules. All of them. These are just basic rules I learned playing Flex. It's like, okay, I do this with this tank. This tank does a different way. Doomfist is not a fucking tank right now. Doomfist is shit. Even if he blocks, he dies. So, I wait for a patch to help Doomfist because he not good. There might be some Doomfist players that can one-trick him and be really cool and all that, but if a one-trick Doomfist meets a team that sticks together and then scatters as he punches and flies by and doesn't hit anybody, and everyone just shoots him and he goes to block, but his health still drops to 0. It's like, well, that fucker overextended and died, leaving his team to get wiped, or whatever's left of it. Because standing behind Doomfist and that team, you have to do like a conga line kind of fight, where Doomfist goes in and the DPS has to quickly chase after his ass and start fighting with him while the healers should be long range, keeping their distance but keeping them healed, so when Doomfist backs off, the DPS can go back too, and then heal up and go back in for the fight. Wrecking Ball, Winston, Doomfist, Diva, they're jump in and fight and jump back out, like Zarya. Well, Zarya's bubbles, she kind of not a jump in and jump out anymore. Where Reinhardt is commit, Sigma is commit, and Orisa is commit and hold ground and have this nice little dance in the fighting arena that the tanks are trying to keep control over, and while your teammates are trying to dispatch the other enemies or the other tank to make sure your tank work was not a waste. But that's it. Okay, bye.